wearing an outfit that is way too small for her, squeezing her really tightly that can't be comfortable. But we don't question anime logic. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven with your weekly figure news fix, this time around 5th to 10th of January 2026. For this week, we are finally back in full swing with anime figure pre-orders. We have a moderate amount of new figures on pre-order on both genuine and third-party side of anime figures. But as usual, most of the new pre-orders this week, they all fell on Friday, which is the day I'm recording this video on. So once again, here we go. Azur Lane, Nikke. Do we have Blue Archive this week? Can't remember. Anyways, we'll go through them one by one. We have a few good stuff this week, including re-releases. Moving on to the first section, genuine anime figures on Hobby Link Japan. As usual, if you're planning to purchase or pre-order anything, not just anime figures, from Hobby Link Japan or OSGK, please to make use of my links down in the description below, and that is how to support this channel, right? So this week, yeah, we do have Blue Archive. How can I forget that ICE agent over there, Hoshino? Okay, we'll get to her in a second because we need to start off with 1x4 scale first, right? And this is a really good one. You see, I may love criticizing Wuthering for their low effort boring bunny figures, but this isn't one of them. And we are looking at a 1x4 scale Angela Ballsack from Rakuen Taiho, which is actually a movie that I really liked. And apparently there is a new sequel, a second movie coming later this year, which is why she is getting a re-release for only 33,000 yen, releasing in June. So Angela Ballsack, should you get it? Big yes. This 1x4 scale figure here is quite exceptional. I've seen it before in person. One of my friends owns it. And it is a really well-made figure, just that I own a 1x7 scale figure of her by Alpha Max. No 1x4s because back then I don't really collect 1x4s that much. But this figure became rare and expensive slowly over time, but now you're getting a second opportunity to purchase or pre-order it. So yeah, 33k is a good price. Pre-order it if you like it. The only potential problem I see with this figure is that, yeah, she is, lying across the surface of your display case or your shelf, taking up way too much space. That is the problem over here. I wish that we get a second, newer version of her where she is standing or sitting or something that does not have that big of a footprint. But if Wuthering does make a new figure of her, then it won't be 33k anymore. It will be 36 or even 40,000 yen. Yeah. The next one here, this is kind of a re-release, except it isn't because they changed the color of her bikini. So we are looking at Union Creative. Wuthering also has a hand in manufacturing this. Two companies working together. 1x4 scale Sarenji Haruna Muse color version from To Love Through Darkness, 36,000 yen, August release. Same comment as last time when the first version of her came out with a slightly turquoise-ish bikini color, if I remembered correctly. This Muse color is a bit like pearl white or something, which is really shiny, really nice to look at, but in the end, it is a plain bikini figure for 36k, which I would say the same thing again, right? It is not worth it, but I've seen a lot of people buy these 1x4 scale To Love Through figures anyway, regardless of whether it is a bunny version or the bikini version over here. Yeah, I've seen a lot of display pictures, my collection, my shelf pictures people post on Reddit or MFC, and To Love Through 1x4 scale figures appear to be pretty popular and common. So yeah, you can do whatever you want with your money. I'm just giving my opinions and advice in case you have a pretty restricted budget and you need to be more selective with what you pre-order or purchase. Then this isn't really a good buy at 36k, yeah. Moving up next, we have a low budget 1x4 scale from Bear Panda, 1x4 Blossom Bunny illustration by Love Kakao. This is a really good one for 11,500 yen, releasing this December. So this time around, we are getting another original character from a relatively famous artist, right? Their Bia Art 1x4 scale Yuna sold really well. Many people bought it. And then the recent 2 or 3 1x4 scale figures by Bear Panda, it feels like I don't see many people talk about them. Maybe because, it is dependent on how popular that particular artwork or artist is, I suppose. But this is a good one over here, Love Cacao. And unfortunately, yeah, you can't cast it off. Not at this price, yeah. Regardless of that fact, if you like the artwork, I would say get one because, number one, this is cheap. Number two, she is in kneeling pose, not standing upright. So the box is going to be relatively compact. It won't be a giant box, right? So the biggest problem with budget 1x4 scale figures, specifically 1x4 ones, is that the figures are so cheap, so affordable, right? But when you look at the shipping cost, which may be equal to the price of the figure or even higher than the price of the figure itself, then you start hesitating, is it worth it or not? Yes. So paying 30% of a figure's price for shipping and paying 100% of the figure's price for shipping, you'll feel very differently about it, right? You pay 10,000 yen to ship a 30,000 yen figure and then compare it to paying 10,000 yen to ship a 12,000 yen figure. Yeah, this one feels like it is not worth it. So I also have this problem where sometimes I feel like I'm reluctant to get a figure that is massively on discount, or even a giant figure that is overly cheap, simply because I know the shipping cost is going to hit me a lot. Yeah. And this is even truer for those of you living on the other side of the planet. Yeah, the American continent, including South America, Canada, and so on. So with this figure, fortunately, given the post over here, you are unlikely to deal with a very high shipping cost. Okay, moving on to the next one here. Now we are entering 1x6 scale section. So this figure, unofficially pre-order opened last week, at least in China, I guess. OzGK has placed her on pre-order for over a week now, and I have already discussed about this figure last week, so I won't go into detail again. But last week, I predicted that this is around 30,000 yen, and I was so off, 25k, not 30k, which is a good thing, cheaper than I expected. And this is Yinlin from Wuthering Waves coming from Hanabi. It is still their most expensive scale figure to date though. Before this, their most expensive one, which is still on pre-order, is 20,000 yen. But should you get it, it is still a big yes, even though they do not have much of a track record yet with expensive premium scale figures that has already been released. Not much of a track record yet, but their low budget figures are pretty good. So I would imagine that their premium stuff will get even better. I do kind of want it a lot just because of the character design. I like it. Yeah. Moving up next, we have Franklin from Azur Lane at 1x6 scale by any game. 26,000 yen for the deluxe version, where you are getting an acrylic case, which is why it is 5,000 yen more expensive than the standard version. Normally it is 2,000 yen, right? And for that 2k, you get a wall scroll, but this time around, it is an acrylic case. So should you get the standard or the deluxe, really there is a significant price difference over here. If I am not getting that stand with the saline bag next to her, the one in the hospital scene over there, then I suppose that standard is good enough for me, right? Instead of an acrylic case, I would prefer to have a bit of diorama props next to her. Yeah, which is a shame over here. I think they went for the wrong thing when it comes to giving us something extra for the deluxe version. So with Franklin over here, she is wearing an outfit that is way too small for her. Her oppai is slipping out, and even her crotch region, her backside, if you look at her from behind, it is like squeezing her really tightly. That can't be comfortable. But we don't question anime logic or game logic for the matter. And what is funny is that there was a third-party resin figure brand, I can't remember the brand, which made the same exact figure over here at 1x6 scale, and I had to feel bad for people who pre-ordered or purchased that one. It just came out like 2 or 3 months ago, very recently, and both are 1x6 scale. Though with the third party, the consolation over there is that you do get the stand with the saline bag and a bit of extra props, but they are almost the same thing. And I would lean towards PVC figures over resin if I get to choose between the two, because PVC is less fragile, right? Anyways, this is a good buy. And any game, their quality control is pretty solid. Even though I haven't reviewed many of the figures, I reviewed like one only, but based on what I've seen, solid QC, they are the Kotobuki of China in fact. Good prices at 1/6 scale and paintwork is mostly excellent. Moving on to the next one, we actually have something from Nikke this week. I almost couldn't recognize that this is a Nikke character earlier. This is Goddess of Victory Nikke Milk Blooming Bunny Deluxe Edition by VK Ant, otherwise known as Limland. 24,000 yen for the deluxe one, with a wall scroll August release, or you can get the standard version at 21,500 yen. And for once, I am not going to bat an eye with this Nikke figure. Looks too generic. It feels like I'm looking at something no different from one of those low budget bunny girl figures, original characters coming from China at 6,000, 9,000 yen, you know. Not unique enough to pay over 20,000 yen for it. If it bargain bins, then maybe. Also, this outfit and this color over here reminds me of Toxic Rabbit. Viper Toxic Rabbit made by Alter. I think it is the same color, but Alter's paintwork looked a lot nicer, right? The pink color bunny suit on that one, it looks slightly pearlescent, slightly metallic at the same time. Yeah, a different finish. That one, I'm waiting for the price to fall a bit before buying one. I'm not paying the full price because it is also just a plain bunny. So back to this Milk Blooming Bunny over here. Nope, I will be skipping this one for now. Yeah. Generic bunny with a cute face, tsundere face. I know that this is a 1/6 scale and 21,000 yen for a 1/6 is actually reasonable, but I am a cheapskate, that's number one. And number two, most Nikke figures out there by other Japanese brands are 1/7, and you went ahead and do a 1/6. Now my figures will mismatch in scale and size when I display them next to each other, so I'm not sure if I'm liking that. So this is one of those few rare occasions where I'm complaining about a figure being a bit too big rather than being too small. Yeah, let's move on to the next 1/6 scale original character again by Union Creative. Ryu illustration Rihanna made version, 25k, releasing in September. Now that is a lot of figure for 25,000 yen, right? So the nurse outfit, the maid outfit over here, very freely, very detailed, a lot of heavy shading, can see it in these pictures easily. And even the broom she's holding, heavy shading as well. Hair has good color transitions, and this appears to be a big figure. For 25k, is actually very reasonable. Just that, you know, with OCs coming from Union Creative, there is always the risk of bargain binning as well. Happens a lot, in fact. So this not being something very fan servicey, not showing a lot of skin, the risk of bargain binning is even higher because the gooners won't be queuing up for it. Very cute figure though. I do like it in terms of character design. Moving on to the next figure, this is actually a seasonal anime character, and Union Creative went ahead and did a 1/6. Interesting. Naori Jinguji from Love is Indivisible by Twins. I haven't watched it yet. 21,000 yen, August release. So basically, a plain JK, but with good paintwork. Look at the uniform, right? It is white color, but not plain white. Lots of heavy shading. Even the folds and the creases on her outfit, quite detailed over there. So once again, pricing-wise, Union Creative is usually quite reasonable with their, with how much they ask for their anime figures. Just that, I am quite reluctant to spend this kind of money on seasonal anime characters when I don't really have much attachment to them. Moving on to the next 1/6 again, a lot of 1/6s this week. Kadokawa 1/6 scale, a misanthrope teaches a class for demi-humans. Is this like a new anime that will be airing this season? I think it is, right? I mean, it is Kadokawa. It has to be from an anime. Sui Usami, 20,500 yen, October release. Yeah. The reason why she is so cheap at 1/6 scale is because she's a lolly, she's small. So even at 1/6, the figure's size is most likely similar to 1/8 scale, unfortunately. I do love my lollies, but this one, I'm not too sure. Like, in terms of what I like when it comes to lollies that are to my taste, this is a tad bit too skinny. Especially when you look at her leg, yeah. So, nope, I'll be skipping this one very easily. Moving on to the next one. Oh, this is nice. Coming from Fingal Toy, we have a low budget 1/6 scale Dear My Rubber Miyu Kurokawa. So, SSR figure or Infinity Studio, right? I did a giveaway. I need to follow up on you. If you're watching this video, and you were the winner of my giveaway back then, I want to know if you have already received the figure. So the figure from Infinity Studio was supposed to come out way sooner, like, was it August or October? I don't remember. And then it was delayed until late December, right? So by now, the figure should have been shipped out to you, or you may have received it already. So I would love to hear from you if you're watching this. Maybe I'll reach out to you in Twitter, right? So back to this figure over here. I'm going to compare it to the Infinity Studio one. The deluxe version of the Infinity Studio one is like 20,000 yen because you're getting 2 entire figures. And that means 10,000 yen each. So this is still marginally cheaper at 7,500 yen. But honestly speaking, I would prefer it if they charged us 9 or 10,000 yen and give us a second faceplate without the face mask on, right? I would totally display this figure with the mask on because there are not many anime figures with a mask on their faces, but I would love to have the option to change things, right? So this is a bit of a missed opportunity over there. Give us a deluxe version, please, Finger Toy. And everything else, the pose, the finish on her stockings, it looks amazing. No complaints from me. All it lacks is another faceplate. And this original character over here appears to be very popular. I can foresee more figures of her from other brands in the coming 1 year. Within this year, I mean. Yeah. Moving on to the next one. Bear Panda 1/6 scale. Rail on Rail. So this is their own line of original characters where you get realistic faces. Similar to the stuff third parties have been doing, right? This is Ching Yun, 9,600 yen, November release this year. So just your average, realistic looking original character that looks like a game character, MMORPG character straight out of China. So it does not really feel that special to me, but I do recognize that there is a market gap, right? If you look at anime PVC figures specifically, we don't really have anything like this by Japanese brands. Realistic faces, 1/6 to 1/7 scale. And there is one Chinese brand other than Bear Panda that is doing it, and that would be PJ Studio. So I think they are going for this market gap over there because there are no competitors. Yeah, but this is not my kind of thing. Moving on to the next one here, 1/7 scale, Blue Archive Hoshino. They call it the battle version. I call it the Ice Agent version. Especially what happened to a woman in an SUV recently. Yeah, I shouldn't be making jokes about a person passing away, but you know, American politics and anything American in general, sometimes it is like entertainment to me. The kind of stuff that happens in our country that we will never see over here in mine. Yeah, it is mind-boggling, right? So when I look at this kind of military outfit with a riot shield, yeah, reminds me of anti-riot police or ICE agent. No, ICE agents, they don't carry around a shield, right? I'm just joking, of course. So this is a figure that I like so much because I love details. And look at the ammo underneath the riot shield, that shotgun over there, the bulletproof vest. This is amazing. The only problem with this figure is the pose, right? Very plain and boring, but I kind of want one, and the price is really good. Just under 21,000 yen for this Hoshino December release. I should really think about pre-ordering this one before I regret it, because some Blue Archive figures, they go up in value. Some, not all, right? This one, Hoshino, I'll think about it. I need to make a decision within a week or so. Ideally, I would love to see some battle damage effects, you know, wear and tear on the shield, some scratches, some bullet marks even. That would be amazing. But in general, genuine figure brands, they normally don't like doing that. They keep everything looking pristine. Yeah, either way works for me, right? I love my detailed figures. Moving on to the next one over here, from Full Rio and Phoenix, we have 1/7 scale Ines from Arc Knights. There was another figure of her, right? Was it by Mietos? I think it was Mietos. Yeah, there's already a figure of her out there on pre-order. 24,000 yen releasing this November. Now, when it comes to Arc Knights figures, I think Furio has been doing a very decent job. They released like a figure or two from this game last year, and one of them made it into my finalist. Not finalist, top 20 best figure of the year. Just that I don't remember the character's name, right? So Furio has been doing a fine job with Arc Knights characters at least. And this one looks very nice, but between Full Rio and Mietos, if I had to choose, I would go for Mietos first. Yeah. I don't see this one becoming rare and expensive, so if you want to wait until after release, wait for user pictures, by all means go ahead and wait. Yeah. Moving on to the next one, another seasonal anime character, I think airing this season. I need to watch it because the girl is cute. And this lolly is a bit nicer than the one before earlier. Playing deaf games to put food on the table, light novel Yuki Bunny dress version by Kadokawa, 24,000 yen, November release. Okay. This is nice, I like it a lot. And I am really hoping that all of her hair strands over there actually sit flat on the surface of the base, not floating in mid-air. That is one of the most annoying things I see in anime figures. It is not just bootlegs which have this problem. Some genuine figures also look like that, right? The hair strands are like not fully touching or in contact with the base, so it is like defying gravity. I know that figures are sometimes not perfect, but you know, it annoys me when I see that in anime figures. As for the face over here, for some reason, I feel like this is isekai style anime or light novel. Correct me if I'm wrong because I'm just guessing. I know nothing about the origin over here. And yeah, they are forced to play a specific game which may be life-threatening, high risk, high reward kind of game. This is my kind of lolly, man. Look at her thighs, right? The legs are nicer. Yeah. Right, moving on to the next one over here. From Kotobukiya, there are two figures. The first one is 1/7 scale Seto Kaiba, passionate duelist from Yu-Gi-Oh! 19,000 yen at 1/7 August release. So with Yu-Gi-Oh! Scale figures, you have two big options, Kotobukiya or Amakuni. Amakuni is obviously the better one, but also more expensive in general. Kotobukiya is still a safe purchase, right? Their quality control nowadays are pretty consistent. So regardless of which brand you go for when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! Figures, both brands are good, but if you compare their paintwork between Amakuni and Kotobukiya, then Amakuni's paintwork is obviously a lot nicer to look at. Like the colors are more vibrant, and then the surface finish is also more premium feeling in a way. You need to buy figures from both brands and compare them side by side to get what I'm talking about. Yeah. This is a good price though, 19k only. Moving on to the next one, we are now entering 1/8 scale territory, and this is by Kotobukiya, Agnes Claudel from The Legend of Heroes, 22,000 yen, July release. This July, okay. So Legend of Heroes, the most unfortunate thing about this series of anime figures by Kotobukiya, all of them are 1/8. And some of the older characters did get re-releases, so they appear to be pretty popular from the looks of it. This is like textbook caster, a magician, wizard kind of character. Should be, right? Yeah. Not enough fan service. Show more skin. Moving on to the next one here, 1/8 scale GGG, Gundam Girls' Generation. This is Aina Sahalin. Oh, from Gundam, the 8th MS team. And a lot of Gundam purists, they love this specific series, 8th MS team, because it is like very realistic. Feels like the kind of war you would see in the real world today. No overly fancy BS, no space magic, yeah. No overpowered Gundams, stuff like that, right? But character design, yeah, not my cup of tea. Looks pretty cheap, isn't it? Look at this. Is it an oxygen tank? Should be, right? This object behind her. Yeah, it looks pretty cheap and low detail. But this is Mega House I'm talking about. The figure is probably small. Like, even if it is 1/8 on paper, it might feel even smaller when the figure is in your hands. Stuff like that. And the detail levels are not great. Moving on to the next one, we are now entering low budget figure territory. And the first one here, this is going to be a best seller, right? From Mietos, Gift Plus 1/8 scale, Firefly Spring Missive version, 6,600 yen only, September release. So even if you have already pre-ordered the Good Smile one, which cost around 22,000 yen, still get this one. This is a no-brainer. This is so cheap. And once again, a third-party resin brand did the same exact figure over here, but at 1/6 scale and at a way higher price. So I find it really amusing, right? After all, when the third parties do figures of game characters, anime characters, they are still referencing existing official artworks, right? So it is not too surprising that you have both genuine and third parties making the same figure. I would rather you get this over any pop-up rate any day. Yeah. Moving on to the next one here, another low budget figure, apostrophe figure. This is more like a 3D photo frame. This is Robin from Honkai Star Rail, 9,400 yen, releasing in July. So back then, I forgot who was it. Right? One of you commented in my video saying that you wanted a proper premium scale figure of Ting Yun and also Robin. Two different people. One said Ting Yun, one said Robin, I think. And eventually, we had new Ting Yun and Robin figures announced by Mietos in one of the Wonderful festivals, only to turn out to be 3D photo frames, not anime figures. So I was like, oof. that has to be so annoying. Like, you wanted a figure, but this is all you get. Hopefully Apex Toys does a figure, right? A premium scale figure later on this year. Hopefully. Ting Yun, other than a 3D photo frame, was it on pre-order already? I can't remember. Yeah, but other than that 3D photo frame, we got low budget figures, 1/8 scale, 1/10 scale from Mietos. No premium ones yet. This 3D photo frame though, if I have to be honest with you, it looks incredible. And I wouldn't mind having one or two on display on my desk, in my bedroom, or next to my custom PC setup, gaming PC setup. It is like a portrait of your waifu, right? Some people, they have photographs of their girlfriends or their wife or their family, right, in a photo frame on their desk, by their beds. Same thing. But you are lonely and single, so you have a photo frame of your waifu next to your desk. Why not? This is very nice. Right, moving on to the next one here. Pop-up red L size Beach Queens Rika Takarada. 8,000 yen, June release. Okay, this is Rika, which means, the other girl will get her pre-order open next week, I suppose. I keep forgetting names. Yeah, that kaiju girl. Shinjo Akane, that's right. Maybe she is coming next week in this same outfit, right? So pop-up rate, if it is L size, I can recommend it. The normal pop rate is kinda, hit or miss sometimes. Pop-up rate L size is a lot more consistent in KOC simply because they are bigger, so it is a bit easier to paint them. Moving on to the next one here, pop-up rate again, but this is L size as well. Okay, Lucy Hatfilia from Fairy Tail, 8,000 yen, releasing in July. Now this one is a bit too plain and boring for me to bat an eye. So this is the funny thing about Fairy Tail characters. Whenever Good Smile chooses to make a low budget figure, they just go for Lucy and no one else. Like, Lucy has the most figures in a pop-up rate line, be it the normal one or the L or even the XL, right? Urza Scarlet is in second place, I think. Lucy still has more figures. This one, I will tell you to not bother, right? This is too plain. This looks like a price figure that is a bit bigger. Moving on to the next one here. Okay, Mega House GEM Tenohira, which means tiny figures, palm size, as you can see over here. This is Iguro-san from Kime Yaiba, 7,800 yen, July release. No comment, right? Mega House loves to make their stuff really small, regardless of scale or what product line. Next one over here, from the same series. This is Nintama Rantaro. That is the name of the series, I think, and the character's name is Zato-san. No idea who this is, and he is tiny as well. Looks like some badly injured ninja to me. And the last figure on HLJ for this week, yeah, this is a chibi figure by Apex Toys, Genshin Impact. Twilight Whimsy series. His name is Wanderer. We have a Wanderer as well in Girls Frontline. Is it Girls Frontline or Azur Lane? Oh my god, man, I'm so bad at remembering names. Anyways, this is 8,000 yen, which does feel a tad bit pricey given the size of this thing. Right? You see, this is the problem with Genshin Impact figures. These companies refuse to give us proper scale figures, but they would come up with all kind of weird ideas with chibi figures with a diorama like this one, or maybe trading figures, and all kinds of merchandise. They would make all kinds of stuff with Genshin Impact, except scale figures. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Moving on to our Army section over here, there are only 4 figures, not too many this week. This is a Mega House exclusive. Army exclusive, and a Mega House figure. Jujutsu Kaisen Satoru Gojo Holo Technic Purple version. And eye-watering 33,000 yen, almost. September release. This looks amazing, right? Yeah, you're paying for the effect part and the diorama base, of course, but looks amazing. So when Mega House does make something that looks incredible, which they occasionally do, you are going to pay a huge amount for it. This is a good example. And when it comes to Mega House, I actually like the Digimon stuff more. And those Digimon stuff becomes rare and expensive very quickly, right? I don't have any budget anymore to collect Digimon stuff. That is my childhood, by the way. Like, I was a fan of Digimon when I was in elementary school, in primary school. So this this Satoru Gojo figure here, what is his height? The size of the figure, I'm predicting 1/8 scale. Let's have a look. Yup. Height is 26.5 centimeters, but that is including all of the effect parts over here. If you deduct the base and the effect part, the figure itself is like 20 cm or less. And this being a male character, yeah, this is 1/8 scale. You're paying over 33,000 yen. Over 32,000 yen for a 1/8 scale figure. Next up over here, we have Wuthering Waves Resonator Steels themed Zani chibi figure. Also, an Ami exclusive. Yeah, Kuro Games or Kurometeus, they love doing this. Their stuff often end up as an Ami exclusive. Same thing with a few of their figures they put on pre-order in the past. But the good news is they are not too difficult to find in China, right? I mean, get it from Taobao or, yeah, those Chinese websites and make use of Superbuy as a proxy or any proxy that you prefer. I wouldn't worry too much about these Ami exclusives from Chinese brands, to be honest. Once again, characters that deserve a proper scale figure, but we get a chibi figure plus a diorama for some reason. Moving on to the next one here. Okay, this one is not an exclusive, but not yet available at HLJ at the time of recording. Maybe this coming week. This is Animaster 1/6 scale Moon Dragon Hazy Smoke version. 16,700 yen after a small discount over here, and releasing in this November. So the thing with this figure, right? I'm not sure whether to call this a premium figure or a low budget figure or somewhere in between, because this thing is way too detailed and complex to price below 12,000 yen, right? Because there are many parts to paint and so on. So it is a complicated figure that costs more money to manufacture. But at the same time, if a Japanese brand were to manufacture something like this would be a 25,000 yen figure minimum. So that is the problem with this definition of low budget scale figures. Where do you draw the line? Because of inflation and currency fluctuations, yes, prices are more than likely to keep going up slightly every year. And then there are other factors like the complexity of the figure. So how do you define low budget? Anyways, I'm not going to overthink that for now, and I would say that if you like the character design, go for it. This is a beautiful figure for not too much money, and it is even 1/6 scale, not 1/7. Animaster also has a really good track record with quality control. Not the best, but pretty decent. And the last figure over here on Ami is from their adult section. Only one figure this week, PT-chan. And I feel like I've covered this figure before, like a month or 2 months ago. But somehow, Ami might have pushed the figure up to the top, right, of their search result. Because, yeah, very few people are pre-ordering it. So they bumped the figure up. Most likely that is the case. This is under 24,000 yen, releasing in July. She looks fine. I mean, this is like 20 years ago, 15 years ago, when you get an anime about martial arts and fighting, and then they have battle damage, torn clothes, revealing oppai. This reminds me of that. Yeah, Ikitozen, for example, or Queen's Blade. Late 2000s, early 2010s stuff. Very nostalgic about those anime. Right. Moving on to our last section for genuine figures. Nin game, only 2 figures this week. They are the same figure, except this is the apostrophe, safe forward version by Fort Japan at 1/6 scale. Mischievous Girl in the front seat, Morishita Miya. 22,000 yen, releasing in August this year. Yeah, giant melons, not my thing. And then there is a Hadaka version over here at the same price and same release month by Insight. So that is all for the genuine figures on pre-order this week. Let's move on to third-party resin figures on OzGK, which is also a partner of this channel, just like HLJ. So if you're enjoying this video so far, please give it a like and subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content. This is a very active channel. I upload content very frequently. Right, so moving on to our first section here, which is GB figures. Yep, we get more Anyas, like 2 or 3 of them this week. The first one here is by the best Anya figure brand, in my opinion, ZH Studio. This is cosplaying as Giyu Tomioka, very obvious, water breathing, and $116, 3 versions here, pink serious version. This is beautiful, man. Yeah, I like it a lot. Black serious version, yeah, to follow Giyu's hair color, and pink round eye version. What kind of funny face are we getting? Oh, okay. Come on, give us a troll face. You guys have missed the opportunity so many times. ZH Studio, come on, give us a troll face. I prefer the serious face. Yeah. This is hard to choose because both look amazing, but I think I would prefer this one. Very nice. Right, moving on to the next Anya here. Yeah, Chinese New Year version. 马上有钱. So the 4 Chinese words on the scroll she's holding, it means immediately rich. 马上有钱. Right? Yeah, we Chinese people, we all care about money more than anything else, right? One Bay Studio. Alright, this is $133, very expensive. I hope the figure is big enough. Releasing in June. I forgot about the one earlier. This ZH Studio version is releasing in, okay, no release date, but this is a company with a very solid track record. You don't have to worry about the figure not releasing at all. So back to this one here, releasing in June. Let's have a closer look. Oh, that explains the price. You are getting a horse. Alright, so $133 is reasonable, I suppose. A good present for someone during Chinese New Year, though we don't really give people presents during Chinese New Year. And this is coming out in June, where Chinese New Year is long past already. You keep it for next year, I suppose. Next one here, another Anya by Waku Waku Studio, also a really good Anya Forger figure brand in a way. So here we have Anya, $102 in sailor uniform, and then we have the dog. What? Okay, what is this? $41 and you can get both for what? Okay, maybe there's something I'm missing over here. What is this referencing to? Head of Anya Forger in the quilt. Yeah, this is the kind of funny faces I want to see on third-party resin figures by of Anya, I mean. I'm so confused. I'm sure this is in reference to something that I don't know about. Right, moving on to the next one here, which is life-sized waifu section. And this is so pretty. blonde elf again. Misha Senyu Kali. Okay, I'll just call her Kalia. Wow, $4,100 for the deluxe version. Okay, this is really pretty. I love it, but $4,000. I can see that she is wearing her clothes as usual. There was no need to censor it, but I like this a lot, man. But $4,000. And no, I do not want to turn my anime figure studio into a life-sized statue museum. No, thank you. Right? It is such a pain to maintain them. Moving on to the next one here. Oh, this is just me bringing up this figure on purpose. So when it comes to life-sized waifu, there is also life-sized husbando over here, 1x1 scale Jack for $629 only. A male character, $630. A female character, $4,100. What does this tell you? If you ever become a content creator, a YouTuber, a TikToker, you are going to lose to a woman easily. Men have less value when it comes to being a content creator. Because, I mean, think about it, right? If you have a pretty face and you have big oppai, you just need to show a bit of cleavage and all the gooners will come and subscribe to you. Yeah, so that is the unfair world we live in, where women in general, as long as they look kind of decent, they have an advantage on social media. Anyways, I'm not sure if there are any women watching my channel because I tend to be quite overboard with my jokes with oppai and those kind of things. But $629 for this. Though I have to say that his muscles are a bit too perfect, which means it looks a bit unrealistic. Yeah, which may be why it is so cheap. And for some reason, this looks like some 40-year-old Mando pop singer from Hong Kong or Taiwan or China. For some reason, yeah. Right, moving on to the next one here. We are now entering original characters section. I think 3 figures over here. The first one, Cool Fun. Never heard of them. 1x6 scale pasture dairy cow Nana action figure. Right, seamless action figure for $180 for the maid version, and there is also a bikini version. Of course, I would take the maid version, right? If I wanted to see more of her skin, then I would just undress the figure completely. Why dress her up in a very minimal way when I can just undress it completely? Yeah. So this one, maid version any day. And for some reason, if I were to go through the pictures over here, it feels like I'm looking at an advertisement of dairy milk, like Dutch lady or something. It feels like that to me. As for the face, I'm not really liking it though. Right, moving on to the next one here. Wow. Guna figure, who doesn't like them, right? Not to mention when she comes with an ahegao face, it makes me like the figure even more. This is from Pearl Top Studio, never heard of them. Ura Koi, Bunny Girl Hatsujo Usagi. $171 releasing in June, apparently. You know what? This figure, it feels like I'm looking at a licensed PVC figure. It feels like, but it probably isn't because it is not labeled as a licensed figure over here. That's the weird part, because if this is really an original character by the brand, then it is by default licensed, so I'm not too sure. According to the details at the bottom of the page over here, this figure is made of resin and PVC, a mix of both. Yeah, so this is still a resin figure. Moving on to the next one. Wow, Big Mommy Milkers again. By Sugar Blade Studio. They make a lot of stuff like this. Original character, though this reminds me of a particular character from Bayonetta, isn't it? Right, the face is very uncanny over there, but they call her Meiko over here. 1x6 scale licensed original character. $229 releasing in... I really hate how I have to scroll down all the time. No release date yet. So this one over here, this is all you get. No cast off, unfortunately. Moving on to the next one from Zhu Xiangwan. We have Iridescent Series Fairy Flora Field Figure. Must be an original character because it is only $33. So let me guess, this is another neo Chinese brand making low budget PVC figure. Let me have a look at the bottom. Yep, PVC figure. I knew it. So this is like a 6,000 yen low budget figure, I think. Yeah, detail levels are about what you would expect, not too detailed, not much shading at all. And the trend we tend to get with original characters is that we get something a bit fan servicey, but this one is not following that trend. This feels like looking at an idol character. Reminds me of I from Hoshino. Yeah, that kind of idol character, I think. Moving on to the next one here from Venus Studio, we have Nami from One Piece. So we are now in anime and manga characters section. $257 at 1/6 scale, and there is a pop scale at 186. So in case you don't know what pop scale means, it means 1/8. Yeah, and to me it feels kind of redundant. Why do 1/8 and 1/6? I think 1/6 and 1/4 makes more sense because there is a bigger difference. 1/8 and 1/6, yeah, there is a difference, but not as big, right? This is a really good one. Like the face is nice, very detailed in general, and the base is also excellent. Shiny paint work. We have shading all over the figure. This is a good Nami figure. $257 is a bit pricey, I get it, but the base must cost a lot, man. Right, I'm moving on to the next Nami figure here. The most common anime trope, where whenever a woman enters a bathroom, they always forget to lock the doors for some reason. But somebody did tell me that this is out of character for Nami because she would be asking for money instead if you get to see her in this position. Like, yeah, she is always thinking about money, that kind of character, I suppose. And this figure over here by Babyface Studio, it feels like this figure came out before. This must be a re-release or maybe a new batch, a version 2.0. I'm sure this figure came out before. And there is a version S at $81 and an S Plus, what is that? At $92. S Plus, you get a slightly nicer base apparently. This product is a purely green product. The version S Plus platform has been modified to a modular platform. Future products in the same series can have their platforms combined to create a large-scale scene. Oh, okay, a modular base for future figures to match with each other. But how is that green? I mean, we collect plastic that are almost impossible to recycle. How is that green at all, be it resin or PVC? We figure collectors are the epitome of plastic pollution, I guess, but okay, whatever. Moving on to the next one. One Guan Zawu Studio. We have Bambietta Masterbind from Bleach, $136. Releasing in... No release date again. Why is this so common? No release dates. Okay, low budget resin figure for sure. As you can see, detail levels are low, but you do have a bit of shading at least. So the pricing reflects that, so I don't have much of a problem over here. We don't need, multiple price points, right? For anime figure collectors, not everyone can afford expensive stuff. This looks very decent actually, yeah. Okay, moving on to the next one here, we have Asuka again. It feels like every week we have Asukas. This is by Ironbird Studio, $171, releasing in June apparently. So this Asuka looks pretty nice. I do like her face though, even though it is a bit different from the Asuka we see in the anime adaptations. But it still looks a lot like her, and the orange on the hair looks very nice. The color gradients and everything. Just that this wouldn't be my first or second or third Asuka figure if I were to even buy one. Until today, after 16 years of collecting anime figures, I only have one Asuka figure, the jersey version by Alter. Right. I think this looks nice, right? I don't have much of a complaint otherwise. Moving on to the next one here. Okay, this is a really nice figure of Mitsui Kanroji from Demon Slayer by Ciendian Studio, $190, which is kinda pricey for a swimsuit figure and releasing in June as well. But I have to say the swimsuit design is very unique. Yeah. It is like they are going for an almost Hadaka look, yet not Hadaka at the same time. And the face, the body, everything is perfect over here. I don't have any complaints at all. Yeah. So this is worth looking at. Hopefully they get her face right. I've seen a couple of figure brands mess up Mitsui's face before. Yeah, but this brand, I know nothing about them. Dian Studio. Next up over here, we have two figures of Fern from Frieren Beyond's Journey End. The first one here is by Genius B Studio, and this one here is cast-offable, both top and bottom. But to get the cast-off option, you are paying $259. Without that, the price is actually $194. $60 of difference. Yeah, go all out and buy the cast-off. That is the reason why we bought third parties up to maybe 2 years ago, before the Chinese government decided to say that you can't have them, right? The only thing about this figure is the face, which is kind of different from the anime adaptation, though I'm not sure if the sculptor behind this figure was following the manga, where the art style can be different. So to me, it feels more like looking at a different art style rather than a face that is completely off. Yeah, this is something either you like or you don't. The next Fern figure is something I like a lot more. Unfortunately, this is all you get, no cast off or anything, which is a shame. Coming from BBSD Studio, $200 and releasing in, okay, no release date again. Now, the best thing about this Fern figure is the face. It looks incredible, and this is closer to what we see in the anime, right? The eyes especially. Just that because of her outfit, the figure looks a bit plain and boring. So I hope that they do heavy shading on her outfit in the paintwork. I hope they do, because otherwise everything will be plain white, which won't be nice to look at, right? Like all of the folds over here on the outfit, do some light purple or grayish shading on it. And this figure would be great despite the plain pose, simply because of the face. Like, she is looking down at you with contempt, because you are too you are too dirty-minded like me. Yeah. Moving up next, we have Makima and Denji from Chainsaw Man by Temptress Studio. So the DX version, where you get both figures, is $380. Makima only is $277. Okay, so I want to have a close look at the face. Okay, realistic face, but very beautiful, right? This is a realistic face that I'm fine with. It is a beautiful face, man. Yep. Just that I really hope that these brands give us an alternative head to swap out anime version, please. I'll take Makima and leave out Denji. I don't need this one. Right, moving on to the next one here, we have Marin Kitagawa cosplaying as Hornet from HS Studio and Starpiece Studio. So I have no idea why they are doing this crossover over here. It was just 2 or 3 months ago, another figure brand called Ling Yue Studio did a crossover between Your Forger and Hornet. Yeah, basically this same cosplay or outfit, but Your Forger's head on top of it, and a different pose, of course. So I don't play that much games, so I'm not sure if this game is ultra popular or something, but it also feels like you're getting 2 different figures, Hornet and Marin Kitagawa. As for the face, yeah, I know what you're thinking, right? It is a bit off. That's the thing with third parties, man. Not many can get Marin Kitagawa's face right. It still looks like her, just that it is a bit off at the same time. I would say I'm not a fan of her smile, her mouth. It is like, it feels like I'm looking at her forcing a smile. Yeah, the smile feels forced. Anyways, let's move on to the next figure here. Oh, it seems like there is a figure brand who is ready to piss off Nintendo pretty much every week. We have another one this week coming from Beast Studio. This is Rosa and Snivy from Pokemon, $233 and releasing in September. Okay, so with Beast Studio, I have been very careful about recommending their stuff in the past. Like, some of the figures turn out okay, some not so much. They are inconsistent. But in an upcoming episode of which third-party resin figure brand is any good, right? There's an episode coming. I do that once every 3 months, and this month's episode is coming late because I have too many videos to make and publish. So the latest few Beast Studio figures that were released in the past 3 months or so, most of them did not turn out well. So I am going to downgrade this brand, Beast Studio, from approach with caution to an outright do not recommend or avoid, right? So I'm downgrading this figure brand in terms of their grades and their recommendation. It is an outright avoid at this point because they are not doing well recently. What a shame, because this is something every Gunner would want to have, but there is always the risk where the figure may turn out looking a lot cheaper than expected, looking like a bootleg, something like that. Yeah. Moving on to the next one here. This is the Dark Horse of the Week. I published this figure on my Facebook page once again and it went viral. People loved this Dark Magician figure so much by SLL Studio. I mean, I can kind of relate to why. This is one of the prettier figures of her. There are so many third-party figures of her and a few more genuine ones. And this is one of the better looking ones. Pretty face, nice attractive pose without being too lewd. Amazing. And all of this for $192 at 1/6 scale is kind of reasonable. Releasing in April, just 3 months away. Okay. This is beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, it is like almost a Hegao face, but not quite. Very nice. So, without the ability to make anime figures customable nowadays, among the third-party brands that are located in China, nowadays there are not many brands that stand out above the rest when it comes to delivering a figure that can catch someone's attention without the need of fan service or cast-off feature, right? So it makes figures like this stand out even more when they do it right. This is indeed very nice, one of the best figures this week among the third parties. Next up over here, this is also a main highlight this week, the talent studio Ishizu Ishtar from Yu-Gi-Oh! So there are two versions over here. Version D, $250, the one you're looking at on screen, which is nice enough. And there is a DX bonus where you're getting 2 entire figures but you're paying for $23. And the DX bonus version is incredible as well, very beautiful. And even though I'm normally not a fan of buying the same figure twice because you need double the amount of space to display them, this time around I will vouch for the DX bonus version where you're buying 2 of the same figure because you can't get the one on the right on its own, I mean, right? You need to get both, unfortunately. But this is worth getting. I think the face is beautiful. Right, moving on to the next one here. We are already in game character section since the Yu-Gi-Oh! Figures earlier. So this is FG Studio Mai Shiranui from KOF, 1/3 scale, $762, releasing in September. Yeah, I know, right? Just a generic, realistic character where they dress up as Mai Shiranui. There should be an outfit of her in her combat outfit. Yep, there we go. So, in my opinion, as long as we get this outfit over here, I'm fine with it. Mai Shiranui has so many different iterations, so many design changes over the past 20-30 years. So it is subjective at this point which one you like and which one you don't. Though this one does feel like looking at the cosplayer, rather than actually Mai Shiranui, the character itself. Next up here, we have Tifa Bride from Final Fantasy VII by Mary Studio. What? Mary Studio? $299, releasing in June. All I care about is the face when it comes to Tifa, because Tifa is just like Marin Kitagawa. Not many brands can get her face right. This one is okay. It does resemble Tifa a bit, but not my favorite one. Tifa is the kind of character where if you miss out on a figure of her, you don't fret. You wait for a few months more and then some other brand will make a figure of her again. But this version, I don't like it that much. Next up over here, To Be Dancing from Nier Automata. What? Is this a reference to a very specific sculpture or art that I've seen before? Some classic art. It looks familiar to me, just that I can't recall what it is. And this is by Yorha Studio. What? 1/6 scale music box version. $299, and there is a beach version. I'm too afraid to click on it. Anyways, okay, it is safe for work. Okay, between music box and this beach base over here, this is what I would get. 428. Oh, this is 1x4. Okay. So how is the face? That looks like, that doesn't really look like 2B, isn't it? Yeah, it looks like someone from Denmark or from Russia cosplaying as 2B. I mean, I don't even know what 2B actually looks like other than the anime version that I watched. Yeah, she looks very Caucasian or something like that. Very, how do I even describe it, man? I think you get my point, right? It is very different from the 2B I know. Yeah, it feels like looking at a cosplayer once again. Alright, moving on to the next one here. I wanted to go on a long rant, but I suppose that I will avoid doing that because it feels like there are not many third-party brands that can do a decent Saber or any Fate series figure, right? But Saber is a major pain point for them. It is like many of them can't get her face right either. And this is another example where they're almost there but not quite there. I don't like their faces. This is by X-Peak Studio. You have both Saber and Saber Alter. This is like asking a H artist to draw the same character in his or her own style. That is what it feels like to me. Details and everything is excellent. As you can see, we get texture that we see in resin figures. Detail level, the pose and everything is incredible. No complaints from me. The only part that I'm not exactly a fan of is the face. I suppose that it looks okay, but maybe I'm too used to looking at Ufotable's art style with any Fate characters. So this one, yeah, it feels different and I'm not sure if I like it. It still looks nice though, but subjectively speaking, not a fan of it, yeah. This is like a more matured looking Saber in a way. How do I even describe it in words, man? Between Saber and Saber Alter, okay, they actually have the same face, I think. Yeah, just different paint work. Now, I would prefer genuine figures in this case. Moving on to the next one here, Jan Diak from Belief Studio. 1x4 scale and releasing in May. That is really quick. And yep, realistic face, which means most likely... yeah, most likely I won't be interested at all, even though I'm a big fan of Fate and also Jan Diak, by the way, especially the Alter version. I like the Alter version more. The deluxe version has a more premium base. Maybe you can tie it to the stake and burn it like the actual Jan Diak. Since this is realistic. They are almost there. Almost there. All they had to do is to give us a second head sculpt with the anime face. Yeah. Moving on to the next one here. Here we go again. They just had to take an anime or game character and put them in a missionary pose. And when they do that, more than often, they make their legs way too big, too long, and the feet too big as well. And this is another one of those occasions where it feels like Miin Studio missed the mark ever so slightly. This is a brand that I can easily recommend among third parties. They have been very consistent. Even with this Nefer figure from Genshin Impact, the upper half of her body, her torso, her face, her back, her arms even, they all look amazing. And I'm confident they will pull it off easily. The problem here is obviously her legs or her pose, right? The legs are way too big. Yeah, so the body proportions are already way off, and for that reason, I don't like it. Now, $190 is very reasonable though for something like this. This is a big figure, and she is releasing in... No release date again, what the heck, man? How many figures today we don't have a release date? Next up over here, Cast Design Studio, which means 99% it is a recast. Asuma Toki from Blue Archive, $438 at 1x4. Oh, are there any GKs from Japan that are 1x4? I think they are not very common, right? Okay, 1x4 is not exactly something I see often for sure. The face on this is really nice, but at the same time, I did mention before, when you ask a Chinese or a Japanese to sculpt an anime figure, a resin figure, you can often tell which is done by a Japanese or a Chinese. And this one over here, it feels like it was done by a Japanese artist to me. Yeah, the face over there. So I'm leaning towards this being a recast as well, for $38. Moving on to the next one here, Sukatsuki Ryo, sure, is very popular among third parties. Unfortunately, this is a plain black or white bikini, up to you. And this is done by Mango Studio, $171, releasing in... no release date again, fine. I suppose that I should just stop trying to cover the release date or mention it at this point when every figure is like that. So the face is great, no problems at all, just that this reminds me of an Albedo figure. I think it was by Shibuya Scramble figure, which has all the water effect parts, reminds me of that quite a bit. But going by how frequently third-party brands put out figure of her, she has to be very popular. Yet there are no genuine figures of her yet. I find it really weird. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have two figures from Wuthering Waves. The first one here is Linai by Star Language Studio, $291 at 1x4. Yes, this is a 1x4, release date is June. You're buying this for the face expression and also for the pose, but unfortunately, once again, you can't cast it off. But under $300 for a 1x4 is insane value for sure. What a shame that you can't undress at least her top, man. Yeah. Star Language Studio, another brand that I know almost nothing about. Next up here, wow. Chisa from Wuthering Waves by Qianben Yinggong Zhao Studio, $190 only for all of these. Great value. And releasing in March. What? 2 months away. That means they are already manufacturing the figure, right? Even before taking pre-orders because they know that it will sell. The only question here is that should you display it upside down like it was intended by the brand, or will you turn the figure around? Yeah, that would be tough to decide. The thing is that if you turn the figure around, then you would be looking at her knees rather than her face. Yeah, that could be a problem. Moving on to the next one here. Oh, there's a third Wuthering Waves figure. Just pre-order opened like an hour ago before I started recording this video. Xiao Huanxiong Studio. Oh yeah, Xiao Huanxiong Studio. I've heard of them. Cantarella from Wuthering Waves, $18 and releasing in June as well. Let's have a closer look. Oh, that is a good face. This is another character that I wish that a genuine brand should pick up. Apex, Mietos, or even Reverse Studio, please, anyone. This is beautiful, but we need a PVC figure of her. Wow. Paintwork on the hair, man. This is something else. Oh. This is probably one of the main highlights this week as well. I like it a lot. And there's one shiny umbrella too. I'm a bit concerned by this object she's sitting on. I mean, it is a heavy resin figure, but the support is this effect part base over here. Not much support. I think the dress is also part of the weight support. I'm not too sure. Yeah, this is a bit concerning to me. A bit too ambitious, I would say. And the last figure for today would be Bagel Studio Yi Xuan from Xander's Zone Zero. Just a typical plain bikini swimsuit figure and not much else. Face looks pretty good though for $192 and no release date yet. So with this one, $192 feels a tad bit expensive because you know it is just a swimsuit figure. But then again, are there any other figures of this character? I'm sure there are at least a couple of others by third parties, but of course there are no genuine ones yet. Apex Toys, make one, right? You guys are making a series of Zenless figures, right? Make a figure of her as well. And that is all for figures on pre-order this week. Which one will you pre-order early? Which one will you buy after release? Maybe let me know down in the comments below. As usual, if you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like, subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content every week. And until then, I'll see you soon in a few days. Goodbye.